So now you're going to be ear players. Ear players, which means no music. It means listen. All right, the signal, the sound is in the head. It goes to the fingers. You try to find the keys and then your ears perk up and go or yes or no. One of the two. Isn't that right?
Sure.
Now, ear players can never explain to you what they do or how they did it. And they can't do the same thing twice. It's impossible for them. Okay? Ear players also have something called guts. They don't really care if you like the song, and they actually don't care if they're right on with the notes. Have you met an ear player before? Ask them. If I ask Greg, what did you do there in that passage? He goes, I don't know, and the next time he plays it, he probably won't do it the same. How do they do that? Well, it's because they have a general structure, and they also have no fear. See, my problem is I'm scared to death that I'm going to make a mistake. He is not. See? So, about 20 years ago, I decided I wanted to be an ear player. And I had a friend that worked with me that taught me how. He says, you know what? You can be a note reader, but you can also learn to play by ear. Learn is the operative word. It is not a gift to me. I was not born with a gift to read music because it's still hard for me. And I was not born with a gift to play by ear because it's really still hard for me. But I keep on trying. And every week I get better, and every year at Christmas I can play a little bit better by ear than I did the year before. That's my meter. Okay, so if you're watching this, or you guys, and especially people that are watching it, you know there's really no place to go. There's a couple of people who have a book out to play by ear, but you can't, in a book, you can't get someone to tell you got to get guts. And you have to stop being afraid, because the fear is what keeps you from growing. All right? So, that saying up on the wall, enjoy where you're at on the way to where you're going, it's not a new saying. I mean, a lot of people use it. In Bible studies, they use it all the time because we get so caught up in wanting to be better that we don't enjoy right now, right where we're at. So, you know, when kids are little, we always want them to be older and walking and talking, and then all of a sudden they are, and we miss them when they're little. That's why people have 12 children. They just keep going. Anyway, all right, so all I want to do now is learn to play a song. And this week, you're going to learn to play the song with just your right hand. Okay? If you start to play by ear with both hands, it just doesn't work. And I learned that a long time ago. You got to get confidence first with your right hand. All right? And here's your assignment for the week. You already picked your 2 songs. And if you're watching it on the video, just take a blank piece of paper, write 1, the title of the song, and 2, the title of the song. Okay? Then you got to find the note that you want to start on. Now here lies the problem. How do you find your first note?
Well, it's all based on the chord.
Right.
It has to be. Unless I'm starting the song on a grace note and moving into something, but I'm going to go with my left hand to determine what note I'm going to start the song with.
Okay, here's what always happens. Everybody I know that says that they can pick out a melody, you know what their number 1 complaint is after that?
What chord?
What chord? They can't figure out. They're in the key of H flat, and they can't figure out how come they can't find the chords. So you have to take control and say, I want to play in this key. All right, what's the easiest key with all white notes? C.
C.
The Spanish key, get it?
The middle.
C.
Yes.
C. That's the easiest key to play in because there's usually no sharps or flats. Okay? No black notes. All right. How do you spell a C chord? C, E, G. Those are the only 3 choices you have for your first note. a C, an E, or a G. That's it. Okay? So now I set up my first chord. Alright, let's put hold on so we'll hold it. Alright, now I want to play crazy. Alright, there's my verse. The only three choices I get for my melody are a C, E, and a G. Now, and it's not in that order either. Always pick G first. Did you know that? About 75% of the time, in the key of C, the first note is G. You want to check and find out? Let's see. Look at, there's none of these songs in the key of C. Look at Moon River on page 88 of the Big Black Book. It might not be on 88 if you have a different version. Okay, so Moon River, and what's the first chord?
C.
C, and what's the first note?
G.
G. Told ya. Okay, look at memory. Look at memory on page 80. What's the first chord? Oh, I'll give you a minute. C. What's the first note?
C.
C. All right, look at Let It Be on page 74. What's the first chord?
C.
C.
Oh.
What's the first note?
G.
G. Turn to page 1 back. Lady is a Tramp. First chord is C. First note is C. Look at all the songs that start with a C chord all have a C, E, or G as the first note. Okay? So there. Now let's go back and we'll play this. Crazy. Alright, so let's start with G. Does that sound like the first note of Crazy?
Pretty high.
Not working. Aha! It's an E. Okay, let's try C. See, your ear, I don't know about you, but I can sure tell if somebody plays a note wrong. I'm the best critic on earth. On Sunday in church, if the piano player hits the wrong note, my ears go, eh. Now, I'm not as critical as my husband is. He has perfect pitch. So everything annoys him when it's wrong. It does, and having perfect pitch is not a blessing, trust me. For me, there's a lot of things I can get past that he can't. But when you play, the first note is E, all right? Now, I'm pretty much on my own. I got to figure out how hard is it from cray to Z. Crazy. Now, am I going to go down or up for after cray?
You're going to go down.
I'm going to go down. Now the key is how far. Okay, that's called an interval. Now, when Greg learned to play by ear, he hunted and pecked and hit it and missed it. Made that up. Hunted and pecked and hit and missed. Until he hit the Z part. So it might have gone like this. What's your ear say there?
Too low.
So what happens is after you do that a couple of times, you just remember it's that far. Okay? But I can hit it wrong and fix it. That's where guts come in. See, I don't care if I hit it wrong. It doesn't matter. It's because, you know our saying? What's our saying? You're never
Never more than one note away.
from the right note. Say it. You're never more than one note away from the right note. Isn't that a nice thing to remember? It gives you some sense of security. One of my little students said, because he goes to our church, and I taught him this, and he's like jamming now on this keyboard. And I said, he says, you know, it's kind of like having faith that you're just going to hit it.